friends, and welcome to your League One Ontario Game of the Week. My name is Pierce Lang, and as always, I will be bringing you this Guelph United and the NDC. Looking at the table right now, NDC are running away. In goal differential is plus 25. And they're taking on the number 7 Guelph United women, who are sitting now really quickly going through the starting lineups. You're going to have Joe Mazier starting off in goal, wearing number 96 for Guelph United. In front of her will be number 2, Caitlin Crichton. Kate Knafleck is wearing number 6. Angelica Mielopoulos is wearing number 10. Olivia Rizakos is wearing the captain's armband and the number 11 on the back of her shirt. Sasha Maricano, is wearing number 12. Bryn Canning is wearing number 14. Tiffany Johnston is number 15. Number 16 is on the back of Alana Starcevich. Violet Hipkins, number 17, and number 23 is worn by Haley Ward. Zoe Marcassini is back from Princeton for a little bit of a stopover here. She'll be wearing number 4. Renee Watson will be wearing number 8. 18's on the back of Ava Greco. Anaya Johnson's wearing number 24. Jada Collin is number 25. Tegan Mellenhorst is wearing for the NDC. Tanya Springfield's the goalkeeper coach. Mel Big is the assistant coach, with Bruna Mavinger as the physical trainer. Kia Marshall Halsall is the athletic trainer. Then on the other side of the pitch, it's Randy Ribeiro. Hello, friends. Thank you for your patience here as we got a shot on goal to start things off. Looks game just kicked off. We've had a quick storm roll in, so we were offline for a little bit. I'll go back through your starting lineups. My name to start things off. This is Zoe Marcassini on the ball, captain of last year's NDC team, who had a fantastic year at Princeton University, has come back to join her teammates in the National Development Center, bring back a little bit of what she learned while she was away. There's a couple other girls who've made the trip back, including Renee Watson, who's out on the pitch right now as well. And Noelle Henning will probably see some action in goal in the second half. This is Marcassini on the ball now, slipping it through to Tegan Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst has her pass just a little bit off target. So you'll have to forgive me, it's a little hard to get at my notes here in the rain, so they might be a little bit more sparse than normal. This is April Lantain giving chase as that ball's just a little bit too far. Attacker. It's funny, she's listed as a defender on the League One app, but she's been playing up front quite a bit. She's got 9 goals in 12 games, and if I can say anything, be prepared for the unexpected from Miss Lantain. She likes to fire shots from distance, and she's been known to put them in the back of the net doing so. So just quickly going through the starting lineups, if you missed them as we read them off before, we had to take a quick break as the rain started during the national anthems. We had to get our camera covered and go offline. But starting in goal for Guelph United is number 96, Joe Mazier. Caitlin Crichton. Number 6 is worn by Kate Knafleck. Angelica Mielopoulos is wearing number 10. Wiley veteran. See Bryn Canning wearing number 14 for Guelph, getting around it there and blocking across. Number 12 is Winston. Number 16, Alana Starcevich. Number 17 is Violet Hipkin, and Haley Ward is wearing number 23. Randy Ribeiro is the head coach for Guelph. No trouble there for Mazier to scoop that ball up and slow things down for Guelph. Over on the other side of the pitch, it was Faith Fenwick who's back. Noelle Henning starting in goal right now, and expect to see Fenwick probably playing in the second half. NDC's been swapping keepers at 45 last weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend previous against Blue Devils, where Noelle Henning played the entirety of the match. But in front of her will be, who's wearing number 18. Number 24 is Anaya Johnson. Jada Collins wearing number 25 as she chases the ball down right now, gets in front of the attacker, and the ball goes all the way back to Noelle Henning. Tegan Mellenhorst is wearing number 38. Isabel Chukwu scored in that opening 79. Joey Lombardi's the head coach, with Mel Big as his assistant. Goalkeeper coach is Tanya Singfield. Another shot in towards goal, and that's going to go just wide off the boot of April Lantain. Kia Marshall is the athletic trainer, and the physical trainer is Bruna Mavinger, who had a goal on Friday against North Toronto playing for North Mississauga. So Bruna keeping busy these days on and off the pitch. So NDC undefeated on the season. Marcassini cleans that up. Saying NDC undefeated on the season, except one blemish on their report card coming from their cup match, in which they were defeated 1-0 by this very here Guelph United side. We're 8 minutes into this one, and it's already 1-0 for the NDC. Goal scored by Isabel Chukwu. So they got 23 goals for and 24 against for a -1 goal differential. Not what you're looking for if you're going to stay competitive in this league. Back for Chukwu. They've got 2 wins in their last 5, though, so things are starting to turn around. 4 goals for in both of those wins. Talking to head coach Randy Ribeiro before the match, he was mentioning how his team's starting to get it together here in these last couple of games. Obviously, no game's an easy one in this league. It's super competitive. Every game is a big game. You see the quality. Most of the matches have been competitive, and in the last 48 hours, he's now in his second football this season. And he says his squad's playing very good football. And they got to treat every game as a big one. They're playing a well-organized opponent today. They got Crichton and Mialopoulos, who's on the ball now with fantastic veteran presence. And it's those leadership qualities that are so vitally important to this squad. Johnston going back to Crichton, and she's going to play it out onto the wing for Haley Ward. Ward scooping a ball up, and it's going to go as far as Marcassini. Fabulous work there by Hipkin to cause trouble for Marcassini, but it eventually will go out for an NDC throw here in the 10th minute of play. Lantane's touch lets her down, and it's going to go out for a Guelph throw in deep in their own end. So one of the things that head coach Randy Ribeiro was mentioning as Mellenhorst loses the ball to Mialopoulos, but head coach Ribeiro was saying how his team needs to be more clinical, which you can see from their scorelines. Other than those 2 4-goal games in their last 5, they've not been fantastic at putting the ball in the back of the net, but they're meshing well as of late. But you also need to acknowledge there's a lot of new names and faces, like his very own, with this squad after being with Electric City and elsewhere, London, etc., over the last several years, trying to make his mark here with this Guelph United side. As a careless touch there creates an opportunity for Lantane to run onto the ball. She chips it into the middle, and it's knotted away, or dealt with, I should say, rather, that by Bryn Canning. But Randy Ribeiro's hoping to continue to develop his squad and develop the way they play. Building something from scratch, you have to find the process and trust it, he says, where consistency will be king. Greco has her clearance blocked. Ball goes back to Canning. She's found Mialopoulos. Mialopoulos laying it off. Chukwu charging in so quickly there, trying to break things up. Noel Henning out of her goal to dive onto that loose ball, and she'll slow things down here for her squad. This will be a great opportunity for Randy Ribeiro's squad to test their mental fortitude, and that's something he's looking for out of them, as they need to be mentally strong to be competitive in this league, as Chukwu has a cheeky back heel. She was looking for Jada Collin to run onto that. Chisholm's ball a little bit off target. Greco compensates and wins the ball back. Renee Watson unable to get her way out of that bit of pressure. Ball pinging around just over the halfway mark here in the Guelph United end. Violet Hipkin with pressure on her from Ava Greco. Court Pascal's pass broken up. This is brought down by Bryn Canning. Canning with it once again in the middle of the pitch. Chisholm closing her down. Mazier's clearance goes only as far as Watson, but takes a funny bounce and it's over her head. This is Ward shipping a ball up, looking for Violet Hipkin, but it's Greco who gets to the ball. It's one of the things head coach Joey Lombardi was talking to me about Greco and her skill set before the game, saying how fantastic she is in the air. He had her playing at right back 2 weeks ago against Blue Devils FC, and they were playing a 3-5-2, which is a delight for the neutral to be watching, as they showing some versatility, getting these young ladies into different positions and testing them, which is something that they very much need. They had a really good test over the weekend against Woodbridge, having to come back. And again, a testament to how difficult this league is. Woodbridge, who were in 6th, currently find themselves in 3rd. And we're up on the league leaders in 2 different times in that match as Lantane clears the ball up as far as Crichton. Crichton plays her soccer at the University of St. Francis Xavier out in Nova Scotia. This is Greco with the ball in the middle of the pitch. I love how Greco plays in tight spaces. A tall, rangy player like herself, and she's so silky smooth on the ball, playing in that central midfield position, but so versatile. They can move her around all over the pitch. So I mentioned that the NDC here are going to be playing a poor 3-3 today, but they may change things up. Joey Lombardi was telling me before the game, which I've just mentioned, they've done in the past couple weeks. And I look back to the championship game last season, where they really, despite their best efforts, seemed to struggle. But they came back twice. I mentioned before Renee Watson, who's got the ball in her hands now, is back along with Zoe Marcassini, Nia Johnson, and Faith Fenwick, who transferred from Gonzaga to Boston College. She's going to be in the ACC this year here on the East Coast for anybody who's wanting to watch her play. Fantastic player. Couple injuries on the squad. Annabelle Chukwu's probably not going to play today, just as a precautionary measure. Nicolina Stocky still out. Probably one of my favorite players to watch in League One Ontario. Reese Kay currently unable to play as well. These girls got a lot to look forward to as the U20 championships are going to be coming up. Just so you'll see the NDC Quebec, which is basically the Impact women's team. The Whitecaps out on the West Coast. Which club is gelled the most? We know that the Whitecaps women are the entry into the CONCACAF Women's Championship this year. 11th, yours truly is going to be providing the play-by-play. Very, very excited for that one. Happy to let you in on that little tidbit of knowledge here right now. This is Mialopoulos charging up the left side of the pitch, slipping a pass through for the back for Rizakos. Rizakos still battling hard. Jada Collin laying it off for Greco. Greco getting it up to Core Pascal. Core Pascal with a missed touch. This is Hipkin playing a ball into the middle. Renee Watson gets a foot to it, but Guelph still on the ball. Shot is blocked. Goes all the way out to Mialopoulos. Still bouncing around, and finally, this is Hipkin on the ball now. Greco gets a foot in. Ball into Mialopoulos. Pressure coming from Core Pascal. Jada Collin getting stuck in once more to break up another Guelph United foray up the pitch. Jada Collin, who will be off to Wisconsin in the fall. A little bit of size in pretty well any matchup she's going to be in, the diminutive midfielder. This is Renee Watson now charging up the middle of the pitch. She's got Lantano to her left, gets it to her. Lantane puts the ball across the face of goal, but it's cleared, but only as far as Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst gets shot off and it's blocked. That's going to go out for a corner. And you can see NDC's going to throw 8 players up to cause problems. I'm going to say watch for Ava Greco on that near post. Goes over her head, and it's Christian going up for the head. Or an NDC throw in the Guelph United end, rather that. This is our only game tonight in the Women's Division 4 League 1 Ontario. No games in the Men's Premier Division as Marcassini and Americano battle for that loose ball. Mialopoulos laying it off. Mellenhorst leaving it for Chuck Wu, but it's broken up without. Girls in black representing Guelph. Lantane turns, and the rain is just not relenting here, friends. Making it difficult. Johnson was looking for Lantane, but it was just a little bit too far in front of her. You can hear the rain's really starting to come down now. Kind of regretting wearing sandals and socks for the first time in my life. Usually a fantastic choice, but not right now. Very fashion forward. Fabulous work there by Johnson as she dispossesses Americano. This is Lantane now with it. Crichton's there to break up that pass. Haley Ward getting the ball up. Lantane gets a foot in, and it's Watson cleaning things up. It's Chisholm, rather, that. Wearing number 79 here, playing in the midfield. Getting her mixed up with Lantane. It is just absolutely pouring all of a sudden. Core Pascal with it now. Top of the box. Tries to beat the keeper from range. and puts it just over the goal. Things we discussed this, or the officials discussed this with both coaching staffs before the game. It may be rainy, but it is still nice and warm out. So probably not so bad if you're running around, but I can tell you right now, stand and best we make do. We're having a great time here. Why don't we take this opportunity to pay a couple bills? We've got some fantastic sponsors that make this all possible. We couldn't do it without them. First and foremost, we want to thank CIBC, the lead partner for Canada Soccer, the Canadian Premier League, and League One Canada. Gatorade, Rehydrate, Replenish, Refuel, and the Cruyff Institute, educating athletes, sport and business professionals to become leaders in sport management. And Derby Star. We're playing with a Derby Star ball right now. Actually, a bunch of them littered around the pitch for today's game. The official ball of the Canadian Premier League and preferred match ball of League One Ontario. And you can't forget Macron. Work hard, play harder. As both teams return to the pitch after a quick little bit of tactical insight from both coaching staffs. Still 1-0 here, as Isabel Chukwu opened the scoring in the second minute of play. The weather's been wreaking havoc with this one today, as it's down to a gentle sprinkle, a spitting, if you will, right now. This is Crichton over the ball. Christian playing center back, normally a midfielder, or at least she's listed as one on the app. Mellenhorst popping a ball up in the air for Lantain to run onto. Haley Ward chasing Lantain around. Mellenhorst playing a ball into the middle, but it's broken up by the back line. Cleared by Canning, and Marcassini's going to watch that one go out for an NDC throw. Renee Watson going up for the header. This is Johnson going back to Henning. Henning's been so strong all season long. Fantastic presence back there, wise beyond her years. She was off in Germany before the season started, trialing with Wolfsburg, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic team in the women's German top flight, always have been. Chukwu getting a foot to it, and out of her goal was Mazier to dive on that. It wouldn't be a League One broadcast without rain. How many times have we had this happen this season? Just an absolutely incredible record for poor weather we've had. Chance coming here as Guelph push up the pitch. Jada Collin blocked that ball. Marcassini gets ahead to it. Haley Ward putting another ball into the box, but Henning will come out of her goal to collect and calm things down. Reminds me of the Whitecaps last season before they joined the MLS. I was a volunteer for game day operations, and it seemed to rain every bloody darn match day without fail. But that's Vancouver for you, I guess. But it was just nuts. Jada Collin gets away with a shove in the back there. Sometimes you just have that. They said the same thing about the FC Edmonton first season in the CPL, that they had just inclement weather every single week, which really hurt them attendance-wise. Greco battling so hard there, still on the ball, being harried there by Hipkin. Greco loses out to Americano and gets a foot in. Fabulous challenge. Chisholm's found Lantain looking for Corpascal. It's deflected and ends up on the foot of Corpascal, and fabulous work there by Alana Starcevic to break up that attack, put it out for a corner kick. 31 minutes deep here, friends. 1-0 for the visitors. NDC getting the opening goal in the second minute of play off the boot of Isabel Chukwu. Lantain to take a left-footed outswinger. Low driving ball, and Marcassini got ahead to it. Lantain collects, puts it back in front of goal and diving to it, and it's Greco all alone in front of goal to pot the rebound. Joe Mazier with a mishandling of that ball. She had it hit her hands, but unfortunately unable to collect, and Ava Greco makes it 2-0 here in the 32nd minute of play. Right place, right time.
18, Ava Greco in the 31st minute.
And it's 2-0 for the visitors. We'll see how the home side deals with the pressure now. This is Caitlin Crichton turning. Launching a ball up the pitch, looking for Americano. Chukwu with it now. Chukwu turns, cuts back towards the middle of the pitch. Lays it off for Chisholm. Chisholm's gone out wide for Renee Watson. Watson out wide for Lantain. Lantain gives it right back to Watson. Watson cutting to her left, puts a shot in towards Mazier's goal, and she sprawls down to her right to make the save. Joe Mazier with the big booming kick, getting it up to Eva Greco. Mialopoulos lofting a ball deep in enemy territory, but it was Marcassini getting to it first. Ball headed into the path of Americano, but put out by Johnson. She's got a big smile on her face, getting to play beside her pal, Zoe Marcassini. Marcassini, the 2023 Defender of the Year in League One Ontario. Shot in towards Noah Hunning's goal, and it's just wide of the net. Two awards that, or I guess there was three, I should say, that could not have been won by Gurleen Tour, and Defender of the Year was one of them. I guess midfielder and striker of the year. So it's kind of silly to say, but she did win U21 MVP and goalkeeper of the year. All the ones she could win, she did win. The ones she didn't, Zoe Marcassini won Defender of the Year. She nods that ball backwards. Johnson getting a foot to it, playing it out for Colin to run onto. Colin closed down quickly, but quickly shuttles the ball up the wing, but it goes out for a Guelph throw just over half here in the NDC end. Marcassini battling hard, and it's finally cleared by Johnson. Gets as far as Haley Ward. Ward slipping it through to Mialopoulos. Mialopoulos out onto the wing for Ward. Gives it right back to Mialopoulos. This is Canning. She gets it out wide for Rizakos, the captain, pushing into the box, and Johnson comes out to break that up and put it out for a throw in deep in the NDC end. 35 minutes have ticked off the clock. 2-0 goals coming from Chukwu and Greco. And the pressure beginning to mount here for Guelph. They're only 3 points out of the relegation zone. Every game counts. Let me say that again. Every game counts. Promotion and relegation have changed things up here this year in League One Ontario. It's almost foregone conclusion that the Blue Devils will be automatically relegated, and then it's down to a three-way race between Guelph United sitting in 7th on 14 points, 8th place North Mississauga, and 9th place Alliance United. Alliance United got a win on the weekend, though. They're first on the season. About darn time. And it's a big one, 4-2 over the Vaughan Azzurri. And Vaughan had been rolling, getting a win the week before against North Toronto. Hannah Chown, Samantha Gravina, Madison Mariani, all getting goals for Alliance in that one. So did Michaela Morton, and they had been struggling badly all season long to get goals, and they finally came against really, at the time, one of the top teams in the league. I say that Vaughan are still in 5th at this point on 16 points, well back of NDC, but still always a very, very competitive team. All these teams are so good here in this league. But I was just mentioning how Guelph are sitting in the relegation zone on 16 points in 7th place. But they're only 1 point back of 6th place Simcoe and 2 points back of 5th place Vaughan. So that shows you just how tight this is once you get past those top 4 teams all above 20 points. Americano with a big booming shot from distance, but it's well wide of the target. The rain is stopped here, friends, in about the 38th minute of play. We'll see how these two teams react. I imagine there will be substitutions made at halftime. Certainly the expectation that Henning is going to come out of goal. Cour Pascal lobbing the keeper, and fabulous work there from Michaela Cour Pascal to pop the 3rd goal in here for NDC. Such a classy touch, putting it past Joe Mazier. And NDC running away with this one. 39th minute of play. It's Michaela Cour Pascal netting her 5th goal, or her 6th goal in 13 games.
Goal by NDC Ontario, number 3, Michaela Cour Pascal in the 38th minute.
You heard it there, folks. Michaela Cour Pascal in the 38th minute of play. Here she is, closest one to that ball as it bounces into the arms of Joe Mazier. Americano battling with Johnson. Johnson's going to put that out. Give her team a chance to regroup. Anya Johnson, 18 years old, dual national. Playing for the NDC in the Canadian program, but appears to hold a Guyanese passport as well. Fantastic player. She's got only one game under her belt here so far this season, but she's one of those players who's returning to action this year. Chukwu working so hard to win the ball back. It's Colin coming away with it. Colin's pass gets all the way through to Korpascal. Korpascal puts it off the shins of Starcevich. Chisholm now laying it off for Chukwu. Chukwu playing it up for Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst brings it down, but fabulous work there by Starcevich to break up the NDC attack here in the 42nd minute of play. Lantane heading it back into the Guelph end. Mihalopoulos turns. Nothing going on the right side, so she decides to play it to Bryn Canning. Canning lofts the ball up, looking for Olivia Rizakos to run onto, but it was just a bit too far in front of her. So it's going to go out for an NDC throw in their own end of the pitch. Jada Collin to take. Collins throw a little bit off target. Sasha Maricano goes to ground. This is Violet Hipkin working her way in towards the touchline. Ball goes off of Ava Greco. This is Mihalopoulos. Jada Collins stepping up to break up yet another Guelph foray into the NDC end. Collins so consistent, so steady on that right side. Just an absolute delight to watch. Here she is again, closing down her check. They're looking for Sasha Maricano, but she would have been offside, so she left it. Ball goes all the way back to Henning, who throws it out onto the wing quickly for Renee Watson. She got a touch to it. Chisholm gets it from Lantane, and she goes back to Marcassini. Marcassini head up, looking for a target. Haley Ward's there to pick it off for Guelph. Marcassini using her strength to win the ball back. Watson out wide for Lantane. Haley Ward's found Tiffany Johnston. Crichton's going to go back to Mazier. Mazier's found Starcevich, but the pressure was coming there from Korpascal. That's going to go out for an NDC throw in their own end. Looking at the table, NDC on 37 points in first place. Behind them, North Toronto on 29. Woodbridge Strikers are currently in third on 25 points. FC London, 23 points, sees them in fourth place. Then I mentioned Vaughan on 16 in fifth place. And it's a tight little bunch with Simcoe on 15 in sixth place. Seventh place Guelph United, who are in this match right now, trying to get back into it. Currently seated seventh on 14 points. Then behind them in eighth place, it's North Mississauga on 12 points. The reigning champions, Alliance United, in ninth place on 11 points. And then Blue Devils FC locking down the basement on 0 points this season. A minus 48 goal differential. Just a very, very difficult season for the Blue Devils after having been relegated last year and then being automatically promoted against their will. As Korpascal is deemed to be offside. Such a juxtaposition between the Blue Devils women, who were automatically promoted, and the Woodbridge men, who went through something very similar and now find themselves top of the table in the League One Men's Premier Division. 2 minutes of additional time to be added on to the first half, as shown by Jeedan Jolly Vivekandan, the fourth official. Should give a shout out to Justin Fortuna, who's in the middle. His assistants are Aiden Memolo and Fernando Bonilla. Marcassini with it now at half. Loses her footing. Gets the call. Foul on Rizakos. Marcassini goes short to Watson. She's closed down quickly, but easily gets around Tiffany Johnston. Pops the ball up into the air, but Mazier's going to go chase it down. It would have been offside on Cour Pascal either way, but they're going to let it go as Mazier's got the ball, rather. That taking her full 6 seconds, though, that's for sure. Using up as much of the clock as she can. Big booming kick from number 96. Renee Watson gets to it first and plays it up the wing. It's going to go out for a throw-in. Lantain getting ahead to the throw, and she's found Cour Pascal. Michaela Cour Pascal laying it off for Chukwu, but just a bit too delicate of a pass, and it's picked off. Coming back the other way, Rizikos has it on the far side. Fabulous move to get around Jada Collins. She's worked it into the middle, shot in towards goal, and fabulous save there by Noelle Henning to push that one just past her own goal. First real dangerous opportunity for Guelph United here in the 45th minute of play. The clock has stopped a little in advance, confusing me, but we're 2 minutes deep into extra time here according to the app. Right-footed in swinger, it's going short. Crichton's the closest one to it. Mialopoulos is going to take a shot from distance, and it's in on heading, and not enough mustard on that one to really challenge the 17-year-old in the NDC goal. And that's your first half here, folks, from the Centennial Bowl in Guelph. It's 3-0 for the NDC over the home side Guelph United. Goals coming from Chukwu, Ava Greco, and Cour Pascal. My name's Pierce Lang. It's a pleasure, as always, bringing you this first half. We'll be back in 15 minutes with your second half of action in this week's League One Ontario Game of the Week. When you're around that.
Maybe that's why I like you.
Talking about it.
I've been doing this since 2017.
It's awesome. It's so much fun. I keep telling my husband,
Where's your dog?
Noelle.
Noelle?
Yeah.
Was she at work there?
Went to Wolfsburg and Bayern. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. They were with the Ukrainians and then with them, and anyway, so they just set up little files. Something to say. Like I was going to say, everybody. Does it? Okay. All right.
30th to the 9th. And we've got 5 days stay in Guelph. The 5th, yeah, the 5 days are you live in a hotel. And that's 23. I don't care, I'm staying there. I already spent the money. You can't kick me up. So hold up, maybe they pay for that? Okay, so once you figure out the payment, yeah, really good. Oh, yeah. We went to Well, Bogota, the capital, you can go. What Air Canada does it? And we're flying the Colombian airline. I forgot what it's called. Jada said it was fantastic. So when Jada came back from the CONCACAF, she went to Colombia. She flew this airline. She said it was great. And it's their like the Colombian airline. So that's how we're getting it. And
Where's the phone?
Hello, friends, and welcome back to your second half of action for tonight's League One Ontario Women's Premier Division Game of the Week. Host side Guelph United, wearing their all-black kits, find themselves down 3-0 here in the first half to NDC. NDC getting their goals from Isabel Chukwu in the second minute of play. Then it was Ava Greco opening the lead to 2-0. And finally, Michaela Corpascal, the captain, wearing number 3, getting the third of the game. Couple substitutions we'll get to here, but first and foremost, Faith Fenwick in goal for the second half for NDC. Coming out of the goal, Noelle Henning. Joe Mazier collecting the first ball into her box for the second half. Sasha Americano dispossessed by Tegan Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst with the Meg on the back heel. Chisholm looking for Watson. Watson going back to Fenwick. Fenwick has found Jada Collin on the near sideline. Collin with it still. Through to Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst top of the box. Finds Chukwu. Chukwu's offside. So obviously another substitution there is Annabelle Chukwu has found her way into the match. Catherine Ozard's in as well. on the back line. Anya Johnson's come out of the match. So is Michaela Cour-Pascal. This is Rizakos going back to Neflik. This is Sasha Americano putting a ball into the middle. It's deflected and Chisholm will clear. Brianna Gaynor puts the ball out. Americano with it at the edge of the box. Back out to Rizakos. Rizakos puts one in and it's cleared by Ozard. Fenwick collects in her own end. Watson with it now, cutting onto her right foot, then back out to her left. Watson being closed down by Tiffany Johnston. Annabelle Chakwu getting it into Mellenhorst and then getting it right back again.
Substitution for NDC Ontario. Number 41, Annabelle Chukwu has entered the game.
Chakwu with 7 goals on the season in 12 matches.
Substitution for NDC Ontario. Number 77, Catherine Ozard enters the game for number 24, Anaya Johnson. Substitution for NDC Ontario. Number 1, Faith Fenwick enters the game for number 32, Noelle Henning.
This is Gaynor. Gaynor pushing it down to the touchline, and her cross is blocked by Alana Starcevich. This is Watson. Watson plays her university ball at the university... Well, Michigan State University. I was going to say the University of Michigan State, but we know it's MSU. The Spartans. Ball played back across goal. Gaynor's there. Gaynor on the rebound and sliding in. Looks like it was Mialopoulos who got to it. No, not Mialopoulos. It's... have that correction for you here in a sec. Looks like Starcevich was the woman sliding in. Oh, bless me. Here's Starcevich again. Ball up to Rizikos. Mialopoulos battling hard with it, still getting past Colin. And it's going to be a Guelph United throw in their own end here. 51st minute of play. Rizikos plays her university ball here in Guelph for the Griffins. The 22-year-old forward scored 8 goals in 12 games. last season for the Griffins. She's studying poli-sci. This is Sasha Americanos. Americanos taken down at the top of the box, shot it towards goal, and it's one back on the board here for Guelph off the boot of Violet Hipkin. 3-1 for NDC now in the 52nd minute of play. Hipkin getting the home side on the board. 24-year-old with her second goal of the season.
Violet Hipkin.
Hipkin, another Guelph Griffin studying animal biosciences. This is what head coach Randy Ribeiro was talking to me about at half, saying his team needed to put away their chances. They had a couple in the first half. You'll remember that fantastic save by Noelle Henning. But that was the differentiator in this match.
57th minute.
That was the differentiator in the first half, was that NDC put away their chances, getting their 3 goals on their 3 opportunities. But he said his team needed to focus on the performance, focus on getting 1. When we get that 1, focus on getting a 2nd. If we get that 1, we can worry about getting a 3rd. And so far, his team have followed through on the game plan, getting themselves on the board here. Their first goal, 3-1 for the visitors, but Guelph doing their best. They had an early scramble in front of the goal moments ago, and then finally put one in the back of the net off the boot of Violet Hipkin. And it's the most dangerous lead in sports now. 3-1 for NDC as they look to continue their incredible season they're having this year. Only loss on the year coming to this here Guelph United side in the League One Ontario Women's Cup. And they had a draw against Woodbridge. Woodbridge have been a thorn in their side this season. I was talking about that game that happened only days ago, as the NDC had to come from behind twice to defeat the Woodbridge Strikers. Americanos getting clipped there and no call coming her way. Fenwick with a big boot up towards half. Collins on it now. Jada Collin with a bit of room here on the right side. Goes around the defender. The defender goes to ground, and Starcevic doing a fabulous job to slide in and block that cross off the right boot of Jada Collin. Watson's ball goes back post, and Marcassini was there. Watson found herself in 17 games for Michigan State in her freshman season last year. Started 3 of them, got an assist. Not too shabby. Not too shabby if you ask me. And here she is again, bringing the ball down. Chisholm unable to control the ball. Ozard with a big booming clearance going deep into the Guelph end. Crichton clears. Chisholm comes away with it. This is Mialopoulos. Angelica Mialopoulos Again, winning the ball back, giving it to Christian. Christian, left-footed clearance up as far as Sasha Americano. Ozard went in for the sliding challenge and was unable to win that ball, and it's put out of bounds by Sasha Americano as the NDC tried to work their way out of their own end. 58th minute of play here at the Centennial Bowl in Guelph. This is April Lantain. Lantain trying to loft the ball over the top for Annabelle Chukwu to run onto, but it's going to dribble all the way into Joe Mazier. And she'll slow things right down for the NDC women as they look to retain this lead here in the second half. Marcassini brings the ball down. Tiffany Johnston now with it on the far side. Johnston trying to get around Chisholm, but Chisholm gets a foot in and pushes that one out over the touchline for a throw-in. Bit of a miss kick there, and it's a battle now between Milopoulos and Gaynor. The ball squirts back to Starcevich. Jada Collin coming away with it, working her way up the right side, slips it through to Tegan Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst out wide to Lantain. Lantain's found Annabelle Chukwu. Chukwu cuts back onto her left, but slips. And it's Canning getting to the ball first, but Chisholm charging in hard to try and win it back for this NDC side. 59 minutes deep here, friends. NDC up 3-1 on the home Guelph United women. Mazier coming flying out of her goal to get a hand to that. Pushes it past Gaynor, who was charging in on her goal. This is the captain, Rizakos, going back to Starcevich. Rizakos getting it back once again. Americano knocked it up into the air, and Guelph trying to get the call saying that the ball was already out. Knafleck gets it back. Starcevich. Starcevich's clearance goes out of bounds. Mellenhorst brings it down on the near side. She's got Knafleck all over her. Starcevich comes charging in to put that ball out for an NDC corner kick here in the 60th minute of play. Quite a performance so far from the NDC. And talking of performances, how about Vibrant Performance? Canada's most trusted brand for automotive race parts and accessories. We'd also like to thank the Canadian Premier League, where Canadian soccer takes flight. Left-footed in-swinger going back post, clearing the 6, then the 18. And it's Mellenhorst getting on the end of it. Another ball into the box, deflected by a defender, goes up into the air. Mazier is going to see that one go out off the defender and out for a corner kick. We also want to thank One Soccer, the home of soccer in Canada. Join the movement and watch every CPL and Canadian national team match from any device. Speaking of the Canadian national team, Canada currently down 2-0 to Argentina in the 64th minute of play. Alvarez and Lionel Messi getting the goals in that one for Argentina. Annabelle Chukwu with a step over, still on her left, trying to cut past Crichton. Crichton with it now, puts it through the legs of Colin. Founds Asha Americano. Ozard working hard to try and keep Sasha Americano at bay. We're going to have a water break here, friends. And we'll use this opportunity to thank our last but not least final sponsor, which is Ontario Soccer, who encourage us all to play, inspire, and unite. And on that note, the girls are going to go get a little bit of that high-quality H2O, maybe in a Gatorade. We always have this chat about the Gatorades. Get at me on Twitter as to what may or may not be your favorite flavor of the Gatorade. I'm obviously still, as have always been my entire life, partial to the OG yellow lemon lime flavor. They got all these weird ones now. Clear. Who wants that? Not me. We'll see what comes of this little water break here with Randy Ribeiro clearly quite animated over talking to his Guelph United bench. Things probably a little bit calmer over on the NDC side, but they're going to want to close this one out. I said it before, 3-1, the most dangerous lead in all of sports. Teams tend to sit back and rest on their laurels. Hopefully NDC will be able to close this one out and keep their win streak alive. If you're a fan for the NDC, if you're a fan for Guelph, you're hoping they can pull this one out and get back to their winning ways. Again, quick reminder of who's got the goals in this one. It was Isabel Chukwu scoring in... Isabel Chukwu scoring in the first minute of play. I've been saying the second minute of play. It's listed 60 seconds or under on the app. Ava Greco getting on the board in the 32nd minute, and then it was Maya Corpascal notching the third and the 39th. Then in the 52nd minute of play, Violet Hipkin got one back for Guelph. And we've seen some substitutions here. I missed one, actually. Apparently, back in the 62nd minute, as Olivia Rizakos, the captain, went off for Janessa Seeley. And just moments ago, or at the same time, I guess they would have just happened at the water break, Kate Knafleck came out for Tessa Ladani.
Guelph United sub in the 64th minute. Number 5, Janessa Seeley comes in.
Seeley
for number 11
is a 21-year-old forward from Laurier. She was 2023-2024 team MVP at Wilfrid Laurier. Banged in 9 goals in 14 games this season.
Sub in the 64th minute. Number 22, Lessa Ladani comes in for number 6, Kate Knafleck.
So we'll see if Seeley can be a difference maker here for the girls in black.
NDC sub in the 64th minute.
Jada Collins also come out of the game here in the 62nd minute, being replaced by Victoria Oroki. Looking around the league. Got some games coming up on Friday. The only women's match we're going to see on Friday, though, is Derby FC taking on Pickering in the championship. And on Saturday, some action as Alliance United will be facing the NDC. 3 games in 7 days for the women here in white. Then it'll be Simcoe County Rovers taking on North Toronto. Should be a good little matchup as North Toronto have found their form as of late. Chukwu heads the ball away. Lofted in towards Fenwick's goal, and she's going to watch that one go over the net. Sunday, you'll see the Blue Devils hosting Guelph United, who are also going to have their 3rd game in 8 days. Bit of fixture congestion. And the Woodbridge Strikers will be hosting FC London, and Vaughan are hosting North Toronto. So some fantastic matchups with implications all over the table. Starcevich's clearance only goes as far as Chisholm. Chisholm puts a shot in towards goal, and that's well over Mazier's net. Crichton now, the St. FX collegiate player, gets it to Starcevich. Starcevich, yet another one of those players who plays collegiately here at the University of Guelph. A 5'4" defender has had a fairly decent performance here today. Can't do much when the other team gets 2 of their 3 off of set pieces. Obviously missed assignments in those instances, but hardly an indication as to the overall play that you've seen from a player when that's what happens. Chukwu playing it back to Gaynor, but it's picked off by Tessa Ladani. Ladani with a long throw for Americano. Ladani to Americano on the throw once again. Americano giving it back to Ladani. Ladani into the middle for Mialopoulos. Mialopoulos pressured by Mellenhorst, but it's up to Seeley. Seeley looking for Americano, but it squirts free to Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst so good in tight spaces. Finds Watson. Watson slips it through for Chisholm. Chisholm's looking for Watson on the far sideline. Watson with full head of steam tries to play the ball up. She's tackled from behind. Marcassini, some fancy footwork on the back line, has found Mellenhorst. Mellenhorst gets a shove in the back from Haley Ward. Mellenhorst still with the ball, gets around Ward, shoves her off and still with the ball, puts it into the middle. Gaynor is there. Gaynor gets a foot to it, but a missed touch, and it's going to be Gaynor having to chase it down. Starcevich on her back, tries to put it through the legs. Gaynor with it still coming in as Seeley to provide an extra defender. Substitution coming here, coming out of the match will be number 15 in black, Tiffany Johnston. Coming in will be Victoria Hinchcliffe. Hinchcliffe, another attacking player, 5'7" striker. 4 goals in 12 games and 1 yellow card for the 25-year-old, bringing a bit of a veteran presence into the match for the team in black. This is Ladani now with it. Ladani getting it to Hipkin, the goal scorer. Mialopoulos being pressured by Gaynor, and will finally be put out by Starcevich.
Guelph United sub in the 72nd minute. Number 4 comes.
This is Victoria Rocky with a
subs in for
throw
number
that
15,
goes
Tiffany
off of
Johnston.
the noggin of Seeley. Back towards the sideline. Ladani and Seeley trying to organize. Ladani goes up for the header. Mialopoulos battling with Mellenhorst. Chisholm getting to a ball at the edge of the box and still with it now in the corner. What's she going to do here? Kill off a little bit of the clock, and Starcevich will put that out of bounds for a throw in deep in Guelph territory. We're in the 73rd minute of play, friends. 3-1 for the visitors. NDC looking to keep their undefeated season alive. Well, Guelph United trying to get back in the win column. Get some points from this one. Lantain with a volley from in tight, but puts it just off target. We got another substitution coming here for the NDC. Looks like Mellenhorst will be coming out. And I've been wrong once before, one time. But I don't believe I have the player entering the match on my team sheet.
NDC sub in the 74th minute. Incoming is Emma Reda.
It looks like it's Emma Reda. Oh no, here she is, number 82, making her way into the match. And that's the last substitution available for NDC. We're going to have 2 more substitutions here for Guelph in just a moment. Both coaches going deep into their benches. Haley Ward finding Mialopoulos, the 30-year-old, moving the ball on out wide for Starcevich. Then it's NDC coming away with it. This is Chisholm. Chisholm with a shot from distance in towards goal, and Mazier rises to meet it and gets her paws to that one, bringing it down and calming things down for her side here as they look to claw themselves back into this match. Big booming kick met by Marcassini. Crichton goes to air to find that, and it's over the top of Marcassini. Hinchcliffe was battling for it, and Renee Watson goes to ground. You can hear some groans of displeasure from the NDC bench. Training staff will come out to provide some attention here. Have an update on these substitutions. It looks like Mialopoulos and Starcevich coming out of the match for Guelph. I'll let you know who's come in here. It looks like Marissa Oliveira and Jasmine Burke have come into the match for Guelph. Crichton wearing the captain's armband now. Big booming kick off the right boot of Crichton. Watson comes away with it for NDC, playing it into the middle. This is Reda. Reda back to Marcassini. Marcassini with a lofted ball, but only as far as Crichton. You could see the sweat come flying off her head as she headed that one back towards the NDC end.
Guelph United sub in the 76th minute. Incoming is Marissa Oliveira. And outcoming is...
This is Greco working so hard against Hipkin. Greco still trying to win the ball back for NDC. Canning pulling off a little turn in the middle of the pitch as she had a bit of time and space. This is Victoria Retta to put the ball back into play. She's found April Lantain. Gainer, the intended target from Lantain's pass, and looks like that's going to go out for a goal kick for Guelph here in the 76th minute of play. It's your League One Ontario game of the week. Homeside Guelph United find themselves down 3-1 right now. Brianna Gainer getting a foot to that clearance, and it's Olivia Chisholm pushing it back to the defensive line. Ball worked all the way up to April Lantain in a real hurry. This is Renee Watson now at the edge of the box. Left-footed ball in towards goal. Mazur gets a hand to it. Brianna Gainer charging in, but it's Ladani clearing. Greco unable to keep control of that one as Violet Hipkin comes in to win the ball back for Guelph. Guelph on their horses here. Oliveira putting a ball into the box. Americano with it now. Top of the box, Americano with a shot in towards Faith Fenwick. And the woman wearing number 1 goes to her knees and puts an end to that. A little bit of anxiety here for the NDC fans and family. This is Ozard. Ozard clipping a ball up towards half. Annabelle Chukwu bringing it down and putting it out wide for number 72, Victoria Rocky. Ozard looking to clear, and she does, up over the top. Was there for Olivia Chisholm, but Chisholm let it go past her. Christian's going to go back to the keeper. Mazur, big booming kick up over half, and Watson's in a foot race now against Oliveira. Oliveira's clearance deflected off of Watson and out. Ozard able to clear. Just over 10 minutes left in regulation time. We'll see if all these substitutions make a difference for Guelph. They've gone with a much more attacking lineup here in the second half. Crichton turns, and she's going to go back to Joe Mazur. Mazur up over the top. It's going to be headed on by Seeley. Watson with it now in the middle of the pitch. Watson on the ground, found Olivia Chisholm. Chisholm loses her footing. This is Seeley with it now. The Laurier forward, putting it up, but Marcassini's going to track that one down and boot it out of bounds and give her team a chance to reorganize. It looks like they've changed things up here. Again, being wrong once before, but they may have moved to a 3-4-1-2 by the looks of it. At least in attack. Lantain trying to get around Haley Ward, but Ward is there to put an end to that. Ball for Gainer to run onto in the corner. Will she keep it in? She does. Trying to get around Ladani. Gainer working so hard. Gets through Seeley as well. Still with it. Cutting into the box. Gainer with a shot in towards goal. Blasts it off the post. Great work there by Brianna Gainer. Still just 17 years old, Brianna Gainer. Bright future ahead of her. Looking around the women's league, April Lantain, third in goal scoring on 9 goals right now. Ooh, opportunity knocking here for Guelph. Ball put into the middle. Americanos lays it off for Seeley, and Seeley puts it up and over the goal. Crisis averted for the NDC. So I was saying Lantain on 9 this year. Rizakos, who just came out of the match, on 8. Chukwu on 7. And in front of them, 2 names that if you're not familiar with, I don't know what to tell you. Because Jade Kovacevic, perennial League One MVP, perennial leading scorer, all-time leading scorer in League One Ontario, sits on 12 goals. And in front of her sits Samantha Murphy from Woodbridge, who is having an absolutely eye-watering season right now. As far as red cards go, I don't know if I should be reading this out loud. Leading the way with 1, Karma Isoko, the coach for Vaughan. But you got Darcy Fiaccini, Doreen, and Bediako. Ella Kittles, who I haven't seen a ton of here the last couple games for NDC, and Julia Martin's all on 1. So not a lot to talk about as far as red cards go. No one of note on too many yellow cards in this match for either NDC or Guelph. I shouldn't laugh at poor Carm. He's probably hard done by in that one for sure. Hazard getting a ball through, but it's picked off. Guelph are coming back the other way. Seeley's on it now. Ladani was unable to keep it in, however. She didn't need to either way, as it did go out off of Rocky. Ladani throwing it into a charging Hipkin. Hipkin brings it down. She's got it on her right foot. Will she put a ball in towards goal? No, she puts it into the middle, and it's picked off. And Christian's going to have to go back to the keeper as pressure comes from Chukwu, but looks like she made the right decision there as she played it off to Healy. Americano tried to slip a ball through to Hinchcliffe, but Hinchcliffe was offside. This NDC squad not struggling offensively, that's for certain. Lantain has 9. Annabelle Chukwu with 7. Michaela Corpascal 6. Ava Greco 4. Tegan Mellenhorst 3. And it goes on from there. I mentioned Ella Kettles with the 1 red card. That's the only one the NDC have on the year. And then it's Chukwu and Greco with 2 yellow cards. Corpascal with a yellow. Stephanie Scholey with a yellow, and Tegan Mellenhorst with a yellow. But not the most vitally important stats, really, when it comes down to it. I mentioned the next game coming up for the NDC women will be against the reigning champions, a rematch of last year's final against Alliance United. That one will be an away game again. And then Guelph are away at Blue Devils on Sunday. Chisholm with it now. Chisholm back to Rocky. This is Ozard. Brianna Gaynor loses her footing and the ball goes over and out of bounds. Looks like there's just over a minute left in the Canadian men's game against Argentina right now. Score still standing 2-0 for the South American opposition. I don't know how you guys felt about this one. I had a feeling the score would be about what it is right now. Ladani taking the throw quickly, getting it to Seeley. Seeley popping it up over the top. Fenwick's going to come out of her goal and handle that one with care. Quickly rolling the ball out for Marcassini. Marcassini lofting one for Lantain. Lantain playing it in for Chisholm. Chisholm trying to do a quick 1-2, but it's only as far as Crichton. Canning unable to clear. Seeley coming back to collect. Ladani now. Chisholm on her back, turned over. This is Annabelle Chukwu looking for Lantain. Chisholm with it now on the touch line, getting it in for Lantain to rise and meet with her head, and she's going to put that one wide of the goal. 88th minute of play here, friends. 3-1 for NDC Ontario. If things remain the way that they are, NDC will continue this undefeated streak and will sit on 40 points. Guelph United will remain on 14 and stay in 7th place. So things will basically be as they were when we came into this one. As far as the table is concerned, this is Ava Greco. She's got it through to Chisholm. Chisholm with an off-balance pass out for Lantain, and Lantain's cross is mishandled by Joe Mazier. Mazier up to the top of her box, clearing as far as Marcassini. Marcassini chesting it down to Greco. Greco with a little bit of pressure on her back from Hipkin. This is Annabelle Chukwu looking up. Chukwu with it again. Rocky trying to get around Seeley. Ladani with the throw. Gaynor headed it right back out again. Fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 minutes added on to this one. Greco called for the foul on Hipkin. Hipkin slow to rise to her feet.
There will be a minimum of 3 added minutes.
This is Chukwu. Annabelle Chukwu trying to put it onto her right foot. Shot from distance there by Lantain, who switched places there briefly with Olivia Chisholm. It's so funny if you can't quite see the numbers on the backs of those two. They're both so similar in appearance from a distance like this, and we're numbers up in the 70s, so when they switch out like that, only real way to tell is Chisholm's got the high socks and Lantain's got the short Jack Grealish style socks. Well, it looks like it's full time in the Copa America match. 2-0 the final. Canada out of their finest performance on the men's side in an international tournament. Ball squeaks through for Sealy, and fabulous work there by Marcassini to clean things up. Unless we see an absolute onslaught here from Guelph United, I think it's safe to say that all 3 points are going the way of NDC in this one. Ladani leaving the ball for Hipkin to put into play. Left-footed outswinger going back post, rising to meet it was Victoria Hinchcliffe. It's still pinging around. Opportunity knocking here for Guelph, and offside deemed to have occurred here by the assistant referee. And the sand continues to slip through the hourglass here for the home side. All but a foregone conclusion at this stage that this one is going to end off with an NDC victory. It'll see them continue their unbeaten streak. "14 games undefeated for the NDC," and there's your final whistle for everyone here at League One Ontario. For Andre working the camera from MSA, me, myself, Pierce Lang, I'd like to send a big thank you to all of you for watching, for listening and supporting us here, and we'll see you on our very next League One Game of the Week.